Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Thursday evening here with me, James Hembrow from Creative Expressions Demonstrators team for another fantastic treasure hunt. And this week's treasure hunt, I think, is possibly just about one of the best deals that I've managed to put together for you in one of our treasure hunts so far. It's a cracking deal. It's over 50% off, and I'll come to that in just a moment. But I've had to twist a few arms and pull a few favors this week for you all. I found some amazing Sue Wilson dies in our warehouse here at Creative Expressions when I went rummaging, and also another fantastic paper pad as well for you to use those with. So it's a really nice Sue Wilson slimline and layering collection that I've put together for you this week. I said a fantastic deal. If you've not joined me before, we've been doing quite a few of these now, so where have you been? But you've missed some fantastic offers already. So the offers that I put together for you every Thursday last for just the 1 week only, or until stocks last, and they do sell out. We've had quite a few very, very popular packs that I've put together for you at some fantastic prices, so it's a case of getting in quick. And I have the real pleasure of being able to show you these amazing offers. I take you through all the products, and then I'll show you what our fantastic design team have been doing with exactly those same products. And then I'll also give you some great ideas and tips on using those yourself. And then you can also come back, rejoin me anytime you want, whether you're watching me here on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. Come back, rewatch me. And then once you've got your goodie bag back at home with you, your treasure hunt pack that I've put together, you can then follow along with me and have another go and actually walk it through step by step if you wish. So it's a great little demonstration aid as well. So how does it work? Well, I give you the RRP. So the RRP today for this great bundle I've put together for you, just before I show it to you, because I'm just going to tease you, is £69.58. But it's not going to be anything like that. So the actual RRP is £69.48 for this great collection I've put together. It comes with free postage, like anything on our website. Anything over £25 is free delivery. So free delivery within the UK on this package as well. And I'm just going to show you what the goodies are now from the collection I've put together, and then I'll tell you the great price. So let me show you what I've got here today on our treasure hunt on my craft desk in front of me. I'm going to start with some amazing dies by Sue Wilson. We've got their triple layer collection, the Dragonfly. These are really unique die sets with how they work. I will show you these in a little bit. Just to give you a little tip again, if you've seen me before, you know that I will apply all my dies to woodware magnetic sheets. So I actually use the packaging out of the plastic. I retain it, so I've got all of the ideas and samples that are inside from Sue. I've got the design. It tells me how many dies should be on there, keeps them safe, nice and thin. I just put them in little plastic wallets. I just use woodware magnetic sheets, which you can cut out and just using scissors. So that's just a little tip there. So other than that, this is exactly how they will come to you packaged up. We've also got here the first of 3 slimline die. I've managed to pull 4 dies into this bundle for you, and they are big dies. So you are so special. It's a 2 die set deal, 2 special die set with the frame and also the inner. I will show you how those work in just a moment. I've got another similar design. If friends were flowers, I think it's a lovely design, which I'll show you cut out in a moment. Again, you get the outer frame die and then the inner frame or the inner aperture die as well. Really, really large, beefy die sets. And the nice thing with all of Sue's designs is so many different ways of working with these, and they work hand in hand with your slimline die collection, which I will show you in a moment, which is something you may like to treat yourself to go along with the bundle. So this is Hello Sweet Friend, a lovely selection of birds and also birdhouses. And this actually comes as a 3 die special. So you get the outer frame, but you also get another inner frame because of the way this one works. So I'm going to show you how that works. There's 3 dies, big, big dies in this bundle set. Not only have I managed to find these 4 dies for you and pull together a fantastic deal, like I said, the RRP is £69.48. I've also got this paper boutique in the garden, and this is a lovely range of coloured card sheets, 24 sheets in total. There's 8 different colours. I've just got one of each colour here just to show you the colourways, and they work so well hand in hand with this die set. So really, now they're not really pastel, they're a bit stronger than that, but it's a really nice matte layered cardstock, white on the reverse, coloured on the inside, or coloured rather on the front, and then white on the reverse. So you can use those to make up your cards, and they come just like this, and you actually get 24 sheets right across those 8 colours there, 200-gram weight, and there's all of those colours that are in this pack for you. So all these goodies here in front of my craft, the 4 big dies that we've got, including the triple layer die as well. Today the offer is just $29.99. I told you it was going to be a good deal. Yeah, just $29.99. I think it's the best I've managed to do so far for you. Well over 50% off, free postage included, and it comes with everything that you can see here. I'm now going to show you just what you can do with this, because there is so much. Now, our design team have been hard at work as ever. Ever so lucky to have them. I know I keep saying that, but we really are. There's some absolutely stunning designs. There's so many here. I'm just going to lay down a few to start with, just to show you. Some of these designs are actually by Sue Wilson herself. We're very lucky for her to send these across to me here while I'm crafting at my desk, with some inspiration as well, and I'm hoping it's going to give you some inspiration also. So you've got these fantastic triple layered dragonfly dies that we've got there. Nice small little cards here using those triple layered dies. You can use those in so many different ways. I'm just going to go through a number of these designs that we've got here using a lot of these elements. Now, obviously, Sue and our design team have gone ahead and used some of these dragonfly toppers along with other dies that they've got and other finishes, but I will show you in a moment some of the slimline die collection. But this is just a series of different ways you can treat the dragonflies. So the dragonfly allows you to have lots of different layers, so you can layer those up. You can see there, you've got the glitter in the background, and then another coloured cardstock, and then finally the top piece as well. And you can use those individually or map and layer them all together, which I will show you in just a while. This now will start to give you some real great inspiration using this slimline die. Now, you don't have to just do a slimline die shaped card. This has been matte layered and mounted onto a real masterpiece here by Sue, actually. I believe this one's by, yeah, I think this is a Sue Wilson original. And it is looking absolutely stunning there in some really nice muted cardstock. You can see the design in the sunflower ones there. If friends were like flowers, I'd pick you. Lovely sentiment. I don't know if that's picking up there, but it's actually some embossed detail in the sunflower hearts themselves, like all the little seeds in there. Loads and loads of detail in this slimline die collection that is down the left of the card there. It's in today's bundle. And then this card here also snicking in, taking out some of the elements of the slimline die to actually mount them into a larger card frame. Design there by Sue also. I really love this. Hello, sweet friend. I think it's really nice with the little tweety bluebirds. Lovely design. And then going into some really different approaches here, using lots of our Cosmic Shimmer products, and also a really nice sort of design with the coconut white and some nice brown pastel colours. Looks really organic, this one. Love that. Love the design of that one. I'm really lucky to have a lot of these designs here from Sue and the design team as also. It's absolutely awesome. Love the glitter on the background here. There's so many different ways you can treat these slimline dies. And again, if you've seen me before, you'll have seen me use my slimline die sets from Sue quite a bit, either here on the treasure hunts and also on TV, on Hobby Making. You may have seen me there before. I'm always going to the DL cards. Very on trend, very popular. And it just shows you how you can use any of these elements to make up bigger cards. There really are a lot of inspiration we've got on these. I think this is stunning. I always like the simplicity of a nice DL card. Just using that one die set itself looks really stunning, the design on that one. And also just taking something as basic as that one card, going over the top with some of the Cosmic Shimmer products. That could be a gilded wax rubbed on there. If you've seen me on here before, you may have very well picked up some of these products on some of the other treasure hunts, and you can bring those in and use those with this kit that I've put together for you. They're all thought about, so you can bring all the products together from these various treasure hunts and use them together. I'm always going to be bringing you something different, so it's always good to come back every Thursday, 6 o'clock or thereabouts. One of us will be here with a cracking deal, but this week's deal really is a stomper at $29.99 for 4 original Sue Wilson dies, and a paper pad on top is really quite stunning. And I'm just going to leave you with that one last card with those dragonflies on, and I think you can see there's some absolutely stunning cards there. Very lucky to be able to share all of those with you. I'm just going to pop those all to one side. because I want to show you a couple of ideas, and I'm also going to show you a quick little batch make using one of the slimline dies. I've got one of my favourites here. Just clear all of these. There really are loads. Fantastic. So let me just pop this paper pad to one side with the dies, and we are going to be using this little die. Say little, it's quite a big one. This just because you are so special. I just thought it was really nice, generic, all year round, nice floral design, lots of opportunity to use it in different ways. So I'm just going to be popping the dragonfly to one side. We'll come back to that in a moment. And also, I will just show you this birdhouse die cut out because it does look absolutely stunning. So let me just do that now. So this birdhouse design, I grabbed some of this paper just to lay it over the top of. You can see the difference. Because you have the luxury of having a 3 die set in this one, it's actually slightly different to all of the others. So you've still got the outer die frame, which is the same as all the others, so you can pick and mix. It does mean that you can cut this design out as a topper itself, completely separate, but also, like all the other designs, you have the luxury of being able to leave it into the cardstock as a very ornate aperture, which you can see there. So you get the luxury of being able to use it as a topper element, cut away, or actually leave it into your cardstock. And with the 3 die frame set that you've got here, the 3 set special, it does mean you can then go in ahead just like that, and then actually mat and layer up. And that's exactly what's been done here with this. They've used that inner frame along with one of Sue Wilson's slimline die collection dies to create that rectangular frame and then cut an aperture that fits absolutely perfect. So Sue's really thought about her die sets here and giving you that extra die on this set just to make them work in with her slimline collection. And you can do that right across all of this slimline collection that I've pulled together for you today. So I just wanted to show you that one die just cut out. So I think the detail in it and the embossed elements really do look stunning. I love the words and the sentiments on these as well. Let's just pop this cardstock to one side. That's my complete set that I've got for you there. And we are going to be using, as I said, this one just here, this die set that I've got here. So I'm going to pull that away from my packaging. So this is the You Are So Special slimline die. I'm going to be using it in connection. So this is a separate die that I brought in. If you haven't already got this, you'll get that. It's in the bottom in the description, wherever you're looking. All the links for this this die treasure hunt die set bundle I put together at $29.99. All of those elements are in the links below, so you just need to go there. And this link, along with some of the tools I'll be using, will also be there. And this is a real, you've probably seen me use this one many times before, mention it, the stitched rectangle frame slimline collection, a real must-have essential die that you can use with lots of designs. And you'll find that all of Sue's designs always go back to this set of slimline or noble type dies you may have seen me use. They all mat and layer in perfectly. So I'm going to be using one of the dies from this set as well in a moment, just to enhance my design that I've put together for you. And the design that I'm going to be showing you how to make, although we're going to be doing it in different colors, just to show you how you can do that with the color pad, is this one here. And what I've actually done, because the cardstock's 200 GSM, in the paper pad that I've picked out for you from our warehouse, you can see there that it holds up really nicely. It's plenty thick enough to die cut into and use it, and it holds in its own weight completely there as a very, very smart little aperture front. I've gone ahead and put a dragonfly on the front and even one on the inside. Sometimes we forget about the insides of our cards, but using coloured paper on the inside to show through the aperture looks really nice, very quick and simple and effective and easy to do. And I've just gone ahead and used the different coloured products there just to colour those up. So let's make a start and I'll show you how that's going to come together. So it just starts off with a piece of coconut white card. I've got our arson trimmer here that absolutely low. I'm just going to cut off. I'm going to go for 20 centimetres. So we just got a normal piece of A4 foundation card here. I'm going to go in and then that's the cutter, and I can just now score that at 10 centimetres, and that will give me a nice DL frame size card to work with. So you get with the trimmer, you get both the cutter and the scoring blade, and you obviously get the pull-out arms. You can go right the way across all your 12 by 12 papers, right up to 15 and beyond inches on there as well. So really nice, compact little design of a trimmer to use. Very, very handy. So I've got my card here to begin with. Started off at 20 centimetres and then scored along at 10. Just going to crease that down there, like so. And that's just going to form up the beginning of my DL card front that I've got. Now I'm just going to go ahead and cut an aperture into that, and this is where this little extra die that comes into the set really comes into its own. And I can apply that over the front of the card. And a little bit of a tip here, I almost forgot to mention this actually. Don't know if you can see those, I've got some little tiny black marks. What I actually do on a lot of my die sets, not just the ones from the Slimline collection, but I also do something similar. It's not on that one. I tend to only do it as I use them. Depending on what designs I'm doing, I will actually put the center marks onto the back of my dies. The reason I do that, doesn't damage them, it's on the back. It allows me then, using something like a really useful woodware ruler. It's a very apt name, really useful woodware ruler. I know I've got a 10cm front, so I can put my 5cm mark there and there. It's a very different ruler. It works from 0 in the middle and then goes out, if you can see those measurements on there. There's lots and lots of other features and benefits to this ruler. Got a metal edge. It's also got orange markings. You may think that's odd, but rather than black or white, because if you're working on black or white card, orange always shows up. So I can put my black mark that's on my die into the 0 mark, and then just keeping my 5cm mark either side, I now know that that die is right in the middle. And then likewise, down the edge here, I can do exactly the same using my black mark. And rather than just lining it up by eye, something like an aperture, it needs to be fairly square on your card. And it's just a very, very quick way, once you've got it lined up roughly by eye, just to make sure you're in the right place. I then go ahead and then just tack that down with some low tack tape into position. So this is just using one of the outer frames from the Slimline die sets, and that's now going to form up a nice aperture cut card front to my card. So when I've done that, I've run that through my machine, what I'm going to end up with is, I've gone ahead and made one, is something just like that. So that is my card front cut out with the aperture made up for my card, ready to go. And then I've gone ahead also, and we'll stick this in now actually, so it's all done and dusted. We use some of our Cosmic Shimmer glue. I've taken one of the sheets from inside the pack of the Paper Boutique, the In the Garden set. So we've got here the nice muted blue, almost sort of wisteria colour actually. Solid cardstock, just put some glue on the back of that, and then I'm going to put this as my backing inside my actual card on the back. So that's going to give me the colour through the aperture, and it's just going to make my card look a little bit different inside. It's as simple as that. So that's now ready to go there, starting to form up the basis of that. Now the next thing on my design that I've got is this frame around the outside, and how I created that, I don't know if you can quite see that, lots of pearls, but also I've gone from a coconut white to a milk. It may not show up too well under the lights there, but it's just actually going ahead and using a piece of card, the same as the front of my card, and I've gone ahead and used one of, it was the next size down, there we go, one of Sue's Slimline dies, and then I've gone ahead and also used the aperture on the inside to cut that out. So what that then gives me, when I've done that, just show you actually here, is this size I need. It's that size there, and then that size there. If I just run those through the machine very quickly, because I think it's nice to see those go through. Now these I do tend to just do by eye, because it's just a frame. I've got plenty of play and give on these to make it work. Put that into a Varsin. The nice thing with the Varsin is you can cut down into the magnetic element. It holds everything in place once you've got it in there as well, and you've got the luxury of being able to cut into your clear plate at the top. You can cut both ways on them, and it works quite happily. So I'm just going to run those through. And the nice thing with the Slimline designs is you obviously passing through these manual machines really, really easily. You don't need a large format machine for any of the dies that I've chosen for today. They will all work quite happily through your manual machines. With that sort of setup, again, you don't want to throw any of this away. You've got your nice cut-out piece of rectangular card there for future use. We don't need that piece today. That's the frame that we want. That's the piece that I want to cut out, that I'm going to keep. And that just shows you how you can use a combination of Sue's Slimline dies. You even got an aperture there. If I made that a bit bigger, I could have used that in the future as well. But you've got the ability to then use all of these dies with Sue's Slimline die collection frames as well. So it just allows you to mat and layer these up quite nicely, just introducing that other die set. So I'll just pop that to one side now, but that's just allowed me to do this frame basically for today. And I've got that stitched element that you can see around the outside there. And it just adds a little bit more interest to my card design and just gives it a frame. I think it looks quite nice, but it's just really well thought about and thought out through by Sue of how that works, so that all the dies work in combination. So let's just pop that to one side, and I'm now going to go ahead and I'm going to cut out our You Are So Special die. I'm going to use my Vase again. I'm going to get the luxury of being able to put the card down onto there, cutting into my magnetic sheet, holds that in place. A little bit of different way of working. Every machine's slightly different. I'm sure you have your machine of choice. I tend to use lots of different machines depending on what I'm doing. If I'm at the craft desk, it's so quick just to pull this one in, holds the die in place. You can see there, it's perfectly held in place with a magnetic sheet all in one block. I can run that through. There's quite a lot of detail in this design. So I'm just going to run it through and then run it back through to myself. Just pass it through a couple of times. There's no extra packing or padding, don't need any of that. Dies and machine will work quite happily in combination. I'm just going to lift that up now. There we go. And pull that away. And you can see there, just pop out those extra little bits here and here. Just get my little pokey tool and die brush, which I use just to pop out those extra bits. And you can see there how that design's just dropped out quite nicely. And then all those bits I can then just brush off and leave it into my tool down there for later on. So I'll do that later on. I think we're finished with the machine now for the moment for that design. So I've got that die piece cut out. That's using our In the Garden Paper Boutique collection. And I'm just going to bring back in my frame that we cut out earlier on. And I'm just going to put a bit of glue around the edge of this frame. And this is another little technique. Why I tend to use frames over the top of apertures is it gives you a little bit of wiggle room and a little bit of give, if you like, because I want to get this nicely layered up so it's central. And I can do this a lot easier on a frame by just moving it around ever so carefully so that I've got it nice and central. He says, trying to do exactly what he said. Do as I say. There we go. Actually, that's gone in there quite nicely. There we go. So let's just frame that up really nicely. So a nice even edge all the way around. Dead easy to do. By doing it as a frame, what it means is when I then bring in my card front, you'll see me do this quite a lot with my things, rather than working straight onto my card, anything that's a little bit more involved, if you're a bit unsure of yourself, use these sort of techniques and then you can turn around and then get that nice and square, and you've got plenty of give with what your aperture is in your card with this, because it's slightly smaller now. So it just means that you can get that nice and square on your card front without too much bother. So let me just pop that to one. So actually, I'll tell you what we do. We will glue that into position. Let me put that down into place. Let's do that now. Now this could be mount and layered with some woodware foam tape. I just thought for a change, we do a more flat design, more flat card design. Choice is entirely up to you. Whatever you want to do, I can just get that nicely square onto my card front. You can see there actually a little bit easier now. We've got a different colour in. It's not white on white. We've got the green. I think the camera's probably just picking up that slightly different coloured cardstock a little bit easier there on that frame that I've got with the blue behind. And then we've got the nice aperture, looks clean and tidy on the reverse because it's all white. That's a lovely thing with these papers. They're white backing, so it looks all one piece on the inside. And then you've got the colour on the outside with our frame stuck into position. So the next stage I'm then going to do for my card is I went ahead and I cut out from three of the other colours from the paper pad that we've got, the card pad. It's 200 GSM, exactly the same die over and over again 3 times. You take any 3 colours, doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to go in, and the nice thing with these dies is they are very snickable, if you like. They're very, you can sort of snick into them and take out the various elements. So what I'm going to do is sort of create a little bit of decoupage. And the nice thing is, because they are only held in place by little tiny tabs, all I'm actually doing is just snicking around. You don't have to cut the whole thing out because it's already cut out nicely. Just releasing, in this case, the rose flower from the die. So I'm just going around taking away the little elements where the tabs are holding it in place, where it's been designed by Sue to hold within the die. So I'm just wanting to release it from that die shape that I've just done there. So I've just gone ahead, taken that element out of there like so. And I can then repeat that a number of times right the way across these colours. So I'm going to take out that one from there. I've gone ahead and I've cut out the centre of the rose from that colour. And then I've also gone ahead and cut out special from that one. And you can do that for as many of the elements as you want right across those three pieces. So I can then go ahead with a combination of glue or foam pads and foam pads. I can then start to mat and layer this up in a little bit of detail. So we'll just pop our rose flower down there. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to use a couple of the little small woodware foam pads that I've got here. I'm just going to give it a little bit of shape. We've got a little woodware shape it tool here. So I'm just going to, in the palm of my hand, just for this detail, absolutely fine, just to give it a little bit of a raised design. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on the very edge of the center of my flower. And then in the middle, a couple of, and there's a couple of different size foam pads. I probably could have gone for a slightly larger one, but these were to hand, so it will work. Just pop those in there like so. Oh, there we go. Take those battens off of there. And then what this will do is it will give me a slightly raised center to my rose, leaving the edges stuck down. So if I just do that now, you can see how that's just created a little bit of depth, a little bit of interest. You can see there with the center of that rose. And then I can go ahead and I'll just change to my fine tip nozzled glue. And all I've done is dispense some of the Cosmic Shimmer glue into the firm tip woodware nozzles I've got here. And I'm just going to pipe, that's probably the easiest way of explaining it. You can see I've actually removed the back. So if I do splodge, then it really doesn't matter. It's only going to just fall through. So you can be quite quick with this. It's actually quite easy to work. And just go over the piece like that, around like so. And that's just picked out the word special. And I'm just going to mount the pre-cut out from the different coloured cardstock word special like so, just laying that down in position. Just tend to use the pokey element of my tool just to maneuver the pieces around so they all nicely line up. And you've got plenty of working time with our Cosmic Shimmer Dries Clear glue. It really is a great glue. It grabs very quickly, but at the same time, it just seems to give you just the right amount of working time with this. So what I've done there is I've gone ahead and I've just built up the very bottom piece element of this just to start to pull it together. So you can turn around, replicate that right the way across up through your design. Now what I've also done is I've just brought in, you don't have to do this, but it's just something that just helps pick out the words quite nicely. This is our Cosmic Shimmer Clear Varnish Lacquer, and it's a very liquid lacquer. It is very, very fluid. It won't form like droplets like some of our 3D pearl accents do. This is more about applying a gloss finish over the top. So if I went over the top of the word special, like so, I'm just going to sort of pipe it around. It won't run out smoothly. I'll show you what you do to finish it off. Just going to do that like so. It dries completely clear. You can see at the moment it's like a sort of an off blue, off white colour. And we can then use the fine tip of this to actually, best way of describing it is almost like a paintbrush. And all I'm doing is just making sure that all of those areas are covered, because without getting too technical, but the sort of the surface tension of that liquid, that gloss, is such that it will hold to the card absolutely perfectly. And I can make sure that when that's dry, I've got a nice glossed word. So that won't really show up until it's dry, but like I said, that will dry completely clear and nice and glossy. The other little element that you can add to that as well, just to give you some other ideas, is some of the 3D pearl accents. I've got the pastel ivory here, another of my real go-to products. You've seen me use these many a times, I'm sure, on TV. Really add a nice embellishment to any card. So you just use these vertical, very, very light squeeze, and you just form a little droplet onto your cardstock, just like so. and that will quite happily sit there, and it will form its own little dome. Any problems whatsoever. I'm just going to go ahead. I'll try and do it closer to the camera for you. It's not so easy for me to do this now, but there you go. You can create different little sizes, and it's just applying a little bit of pressure. And on the last one, I just actually let it come out the bottle on its own. So it's very, very easy to do. It's a bit of a thing of mine. I find it very therapeutic just to add these little embellishments. And you could go ahead into the flower and kind of really make it your own design and create your own little embellishments and pearls to the card front, just to make it something a little bit special. So let me just pop that to one side. And if I carry on right the way across all of that card design, and I turn around and matte and layer all the roses up and all the letters in the same way, and I put that glossy accent that's showing there from the clear varnish lacquer over the top of Just You in Special, just to add a little bit of a glaze over the top of that, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. I can go ahead now and just apply that to the front of my card that I was just then showing you. So I would do that, finish that off, and then when I've done that, that then creates that finished off there that I was just showing you earlier on. You can see here, use similar colours as before, and I've just picked out some more words here. I've picked out You Are So, as well as the Just You in Special, just to show you a couple of different variations. Let me just pop those to one side. Now, as for the dragonfly on the front, what I actually did with that one, I'll show you here, is you can cut out a series of different little elements using the dies in different combinations. And just about any of these will actually work very nicely on their own as well. So what you get in the set that I picked out for you is actually 3 dies, and you use 2 of the dies in combination with each other, and that will create that piece there that you've got, which is quite nice. You can also use that outer die that's in that 2 set there, and apply it over the top of this 3rd one that you get in the set, and then you get a very different look. You'll get that design there cut out. So you can also use the final die on its own, and you'll get a solid shape. So you can have a solid shape dragonfly that we've got there. You can have something that's started to be some of the designs cut out, and then finally sort of a complete one like that. And the idea for this is it's a triple layer. There's 3 elements to it, and you stack one on top the other, just like so, using a little bit of glue, layer them up, stick them together, and what you then end up with is something, when it's all stuck and dry, that looks just like that. You can see there, it looks a stunning little 3 different colors all layered up, and you can now shape that, and that's just using the papers from the In the Garden paper pack that I've brought to you today. But there's nothing stopping you just going ahead and just using these elements on their own as well, and you could actually maybe tweak the wings up on this piece and just create a nice 3-dimensional element topper, just like that, using the same die set, and you've got a really nicely finished off dimensional topper there with a dragonfly. So lots of different ways you can use these triple layer dies. I'm just going to go ahead and actually stick my finished one here. Again, you could stick it down or use some of the foam tape like we used earlier on. I'm just going to tweak the wings up slightly, and it will hold quite nicely there because it's quite thick carbon. You've got 3 layers on, and that just creates a really nice bit of dimension to that. And then that would go ahead, and then that would mount onto the front of my card that I prepared earlier on, just like that. So it would look and sit. That's still wet at the moment, but that would then sit over the top of that one, just like that, ready to complete. So it's just 2 different designs using a couple of different colorways, just using the 1 die set, even though I've got 2 die sets with the dragonfly, even though there's another 2 slimline dies. There's lots and lots that you can create with these. So let me just tidy those away. I'm just going to remind you of everything that we've got in today's bundle. So as well as using the ruler and the trimmer and the glues and the foam tapes and everything we've also used all the key elements in today's bundle that we've got here. So we've got the dragonfly in the triple layer, we've got the You Are So Special, one of the die selections in the slimline. We've also got the Hello Sweet Friend in the slimline collection also, and then finally the If Friends Were Like Flowers slimline die collection as well. Just to remind you of some of those ideas that we had earlier on. There's that one. There's a stunning one there from one of the design team. And If Friends Were Like Flowers, I'll just put that one there as well, just to show you how those look when all three are cut out. And then we saw loads and loads of different ideas using the dragonfly. There's just one layered up, and there's the card I've just shown you how to make there today as well. And on top of all of those 4 dies that I've given you, you've also, don't forget, you've got this complete paper pad. I've only just used a handful of colours. I've just used a part of a few sheets from this. There are 24 sheets in total in here. This is just one of each colour that I'm just showing you. I've made all of the samples and demo pieces out of this pack. I've still got all of this left, and many other sheets as well, part sheets cut out. So there's absolutely loads in there. 200 GSM in total for each of the cards. So it does hold up really, really nicely when you're cutting into it to make these aperture cards like you can see here in front of us. So just to remind you, it's normally £69.48 for the complete bundle of everything that's in front of you here. But today's price, and for 1 week only or until stocks last, and I think this one's going to absolutely fly, it's just £29.99. I was amazed that I could pull this price off for you. It did take a bit of convincing, but we've done it. So do make a massive advantage of it. Make sure you tell your friends. Also, if you're watching live, maybe they can come back and rewatch and have a look. And also, like I said, I'll be here for you to be able to rewatch once you get your treasure hunt kit back home with you and you've placed your order. You can come back and rewatch that. So it's free postage, 29 in the UK. It's 29.99 for the 4 dies and the paper pad on today's treasure hunt. I hope you really enjoyed it. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Thank you to Sue and the design team for the amazing amount of sample cards I've been able to share with you. I hope it's given you some real inspiration of just what you can do with these 4 dies. Just a very, very small selection of ideas there in the design I've shown you. I'm sure you're going to come up with many ideas yourself. Please come back, share them with us. I love to see what people make with these kits I've put together. They're always so completely different to the ideas that I've had. I think that's a great thing with crafting, is to share all the different ideas with everybody, and we all come up with our own concepts. So share your ideas. Any questions or comments, like I said, I can come back to you later on when I finish crafting, or one of the Creative Expressions team will. But until next time, I look forward to seeing you all again very soon on our next treasure hunt here on one Thursday evening at 6 o'clock on the Creative Expressions channels. Until then, have a great week.